Today is Memorial Day. This day is set aside to honor our fallen heroes, to remember those who gave their lives to service in this great nation of ours over the course of 13 wars. Today we take time to pause and reflect and to pay our respects to each one of them. May the ceremonies today deepen your respect for our country and these valiant warriors. Let us therefore renew our pledge of loyalty to our country and its flag. Let us today and every day give thanks for living in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let us pray.
We will now have music by our marching band. Our Memorial Day message will be given by Mr. Tim Shaw. Tim resides in Bellefontaine, Ohio with his wife Mandy and his 18-year-old son Evan, who's graduating this year. Tim graduated from Bellefontaine High School in 1993 and he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in September of '97. He enlisted as a 0311 rifleman. Tim obtained the MOS of 0311 Rifleman and 8152 Security Forces Guard, the 0931 Primary Marksmanship Instructor, 0933 Marksmanship Coach, and 0369 Infantry Platoon Sergeant. Tim spent 18 years in the Corps before he retired in September of 2015. Tim is currently employed with the Logan County Veterans Services as a Veterans Commissioner. He also works for Generic Security as a dispatcher. Tim is a member of the American Legion Miami Valley DeGraff Post 652. He is the past commander of the American Legion, 2nd District, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Tim Shaw.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I want to thank Ronnie for the invite. Ronnie's been a good friend for the past several years. It's always a pleasure to come to his post here in Jackson Center. They're always so welcoming. I have to go by my speech or I'll keep rambling on. The United States is the greatest country in the world, as we have men and women who gave up everything to wear the cloth of our nation and to defend it at all costs. We owe so much to those that gave so much. Those men and women gave the ultimate sacrifice to give us our freedom that we enjoy each and every day. I have traveled to many countries during my 18 years in the Marine Corps. In my opinion, there's no other country that even comes close to ours. They don't have the freedoms that we have, and we owe it to the men and women who sacrificed themselves for our great country. We have the greatest country due to the men and women who serve every day to protect our freedoms so that our children, grandchildren, and so forth can live a life that is enjoyable and peaceful. I have served with many men and women during my time in the Corps. They would do anything for each other because it's all about the man or the woman to your left or to your right. Because our lives are on the line when we wear that uniform. I believe that the bond between military members is greater than that of family. Because we are so dependent on each other, especially overseas. I had the honor to serve with so many heroes. My best friend, Gunnery Sergeant David Shane Spicer. David and I never got to serve in the same unit, but we crossed paths in Kuwait while one was going in country and the other was leaving country. We always kept in contact during our time in the Corps. David was killed in action on July 13th, 2009 during combat in Afghanistan. This is what today is all about, which is honoring those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. David did 15 years in the Marine Corps. He was looking forward to doing 20. During my deployment in Iraq with the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, my Sergeant Major was killed by a suicide bomber in Anbar Province, which is west of Baghdad. His name is Sergeant Major Jay Ellis of Ashland, Ohio. We always talked about the Buckeyes because both of us were from Ohio. I remember the day clearly as it stuck in my head to watch over and over again. I was assigned to 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance, and we were under Maritime Special Purpose Force, which consisted of all the reconnaissance units and EOD. We were assigned to Arupa, Iraq. On February 7, 2007, I was in the command center getting ready for a mission brief when they were monitoring cameras. That is when we saw the explosion on the screen. Sergeant Major Ellis and several Marines were casualties of the suicide bomber that went through the entry control point. We felt helpless that happened because we were on another base and there was nothing that we could do. We need to continue to educate about Memorial Day. The future generations need to understand why they have the freedoms to do basically almost anything that they want to. If we didn't have these heroes who gave the ultimate sacrifice, our nation would not have the freedoms that we enjoy. Please take time to educate our youth on these heroes because you will not find them in your school books. You might find a couple, but you will not find a lot. It's important to keep their names alive and not to be forgotten, just like David Spicer and Joseph Ellis. If you have relatives that have served, take some time and sit down to talk to them about their service because you will be amazed at what they have done during their time in service. In closing, I would like to thank the Jackson Center, American Legion Post 493, and to all of you that are attending here today. Thank you for your time. I hope my speech didn't bore you too much and I didn't ramble on too long. Thank you.
We will now have our band play the Star Spangled Banner. The Scouts will now deposit a token of our enduring memory in honor and remembrance of those names which appear on this memorial wall. World War I, Orley Shear, Charles Cook, John Helmlinger, Elmer Regula, Robert Campbell, Earl Munch, World War II, Roland Darnell, Lowell Davis, Wayne Heath, Alan Mumford, Robert Saylor, Gerald Schaefer, Waldo Schaffner, Levon Stockstill, Albert Sweeble. Korea, Franklin Hoffman, Richard Kaiser. Vietnam, Gary Wayne Gross, Earl E. Taylor. And service to state, Terry L. Regula. These flowers may wither, but the spirit in which they are the symbol will endure until the end of time. Sergeant at Arms, prepare to salute the dead. Please feel free to take a flower home with you that was given in the memory of one of these veterans and plant it so their memory will continue to live. The Jackson Center American Legion, Shear Post 493, the Sons of the American Legion, Detachment 493, wish to thank Tim Shaw for today's message. The Jackson Center PAC 90 and Scouts, the Boy Scout Troop 90, the Jackson Center High School Marching Band, the Jackson Center Pro Hardware for donating the flowers, the village crew for mowing, taking care of our lawn, and all of you who gave a few minutes to come out for this Memorial Day service to honor those who gave their lives so that we could live in freedom today. This concludes our service. Thank you.